Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm so grateful. In this video, I'm going to discuss about the reasons why you feel techniques are exhausting you and what you can do to fix that. Now, before I start, I want to let you know that the link to join my membership group is in the video description and also on my main YouTube page. If you go, you will be able to see that option of joining. 1st September onwards, the membership group is going live. It's mainly going to be structured around weekly group coaching sessions that would be streamed live with live chat for a personal interaction and engagement. Apart from that, there would be weekly test quizzes, monthly challenges, my personal success stories, processes, experiences, all the goods and all the bads. The group coaching is going to give you a lot of value with minimum investment if one-on-one coaching is not an option for you right now. There's going to be a lot of in-depth guidance and focused solutions included in those sessions. So you can join the group 1st September onwards. I'm so excited to see you over there. Okay, so let's talk about why techniques are exhausting you, okay? So let's talk about what techniques actually are, okay, and what their role is in your manifestation process for a minute here. Techniques are tools and methods to help you come into a certain state, to help you experience your desire in your imaginal world. The moment you are doing the technique, you are in a different world, in a different reality. You are imagining having something, you're imagining talking to someone, you're imagining a different kind of experience that you might not have in your current reality. So techniques are just that. They are supposed to bring you into that end state for that time. If you are under that impression that techniques manifest for you, techniques bring your desire, techniques are doing something really huge. Yes, they are doing something really huge because they're bringing you into that end state, which is important for you to experience your desire and eventually for the desire to show up. But techniques are not manifesting, they are a helping hand. You are the one manifesting. I've explained this in detail in one of my early videos that I will link up here. You can have a look. You are the one with the power of creation. You are the one who has to transform your beliefs, emotions, thought patterns, mindset, everything, okay? People who have become really good at manifestation, they don't even do techniques that much, okay? Master manifestors don't do techniques. I don't resort to techniques for so many desires where I don't have any resistance. When I'm manifesting something new, yes. Something around which I've had past negative experiences, yes. And out of joy, fun, and entertainment, I use techniques. Techniques are not mandatory, okay? It's not that without techniques you cannot manifest. It's a choice. Bottom line being, techniques are not manifesting, okay? You manifest, your mind manifests, your internal world manifests, and for that you can take the help of techniques. Now the second point I want to talk about is techniques are not at fault over here, okay? Techniques are not exhausting you. You are exhausting yourself. Listen to me very carefully, okay? Stop blaming the techniques. Techniques are not doing anything. You are the one doing it, okay? So if you're feeling exhausted, you are doing that to yourself, okay? Techniques are not doing that to you. Why am I saying that? Because when you tell me that you are exhausted with the manifestation process, or specifically when you're exhausted with the techniques, I know what it means. It directly implies that you are obsessing with the techniques. You're obsessing because you are not practicing patience. You are obsessing because you want it right now. You're obsessing because you are in the lack state. And by that I mean your energy, the way you're feeling, your state of mind is so much on that thing, that person not being here, you wanting it desperately, you wanting it right now, you cannot wait, you don't have patience, you don't want to go through the work that is needed for the internal transformation, that you're doing techniques out of that state. It's either out of fear, out of anxiety, out of desperation, obsession, everything in one bucket. So here techniques are not to be blamed, okay? Have a look at how you're doing the techniques. It's like saying that you are going to the gym or any other kind of exercise twice a day for 7 days, okay? And you are overworking your body, okay? You're overloading your body. You're not giving your body, your muscles, the time to rest and heal and restore. And you're doing it day after day, week after week, till finally your body breaks down. And then you're blaming the exercises that, exercises are exhausting me. What do I do? It's not the exercise that is exhausting you, okay? It's the pressure you're putting on yourself. It's the way you're torturing yourself into it. It's you becoming obsessed with it for some kind of immediate fast result. It's your own mindset, your own action and decision that is exhausting you. So start taking that accountability that the way I am doing is exhausting me. It's not the technique that is exhausting me. Start over there. I receive so many comments on the videos where people are asking, please suggest a technique that will not exhaust me. Affirmations are so exhausting. Visualization is so exhausting. Please suggest a technique, that will not make me feel exhausted. And to that, I just want to say that again, techniques are not at fault. Techniques are techniques. They will always remain as techniques, okay? The frequency you use them in, the kind of obsession you have with your desire is what's going to make that technique exhausting or not. I can give you 10 techniques, 20 techniques, but if you obsess over it, it will exhaust you. It doesn't matter if you try out 100 techniques. So now here, what is the solution? Okay, the first step of the solution is to stop hopping around trying to find a new technique and try every possible technique. I'm not saying don't try out new techniques, okay? Hear me out. I'm saying don't hop around with an approach that I need to find a new technique because this technique is exhausting me or this technique is not working. Because if you approach a new technique because of that reason, you're not actually focusing on what the problem is. The problem is the way you're doing the technique, your obsession, your frequency. Frequency means the number of times you are forcing yourself into techniques. So that is the first thing you need to stop doing. Okay, your solution is not to keep finding a new technique. You'll get stuck in this loop of finding new techniques. Trust me, that's a loop. It happens, it's very common, and it's going to play with your mind. Okay, it's going to exhaust you completely if you keep hopping onto techniques because there are so many techniques out there. The most common famous ones are scripting, affirmations, visualization, conversations. These are there, everyone talks about these, but there are a lot more techniques. You'll see the whisper technique, the ladder technique. Okay, there are so many techniques because techniques can be created. Okay, I've created some personal techniques, around 2-3 techniques. I'm yet to make a video on that have worked for me. So techniques are not fixed. People will keep creating techniques, coming up with it, putting out videos. And if you keep approaching those techniques with that mindset that, these techniques are exhausting me, let me try a new one. Let me try a new one. Everywhere you are still obsessing over the technique, right? Then you'll finally come to this conclusion that, no technique works for me and this does not work and manifestation does not work. So start over there, okay? Know that your solution is not finding a new technique, but trying to fix the routine. Try to bring in a little change in the routine of how you're doing the technique. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is reselection of techniques. Okay, any technique that has made you feel good anytime. Okay, it could be visualization, affirmation, whatever. I'm not talking about it showing a result to you. Okay, keep that out of your mind. I'm talking about it making you feel a certain way, it making you feel good in the moment, it making you feel relaxed in the moment. Okay, choose one technique, or you can, switch between 2-3 techniques, whichever feels good. Select those techniques that make you feel good here instead of those techniques that someone is saying works for them and they are clickbaiting and they are guaranteeing that it will work for you. See, understand this, that everyone resonates with a different kind of technique. Okay, there's no magical technique, as I mentioned, that will bring you your desire. That's not their work. Okay, don't put that responsibility on them. Techniques can be chosen based on which technique is making you feel good. Personally, I stick to 2 to 3 techniques that make me feel good. I don't judge the techniques based on if they're making my desire show up, because then It implies that I feel techniques bring me my desires. Okay, understand the difference here. You need to choose techniques based on how they make you feel. In that moment, are those techniques bringing you in that end state where you feel in your core that reality, that experience, whether it's a person, it's money, it's success, it's career, anything. That's how you choose your technique. And if it's making you feel good, that is the first step. Okay, that is the cause. What's the effect? The effect is going to be that desire showing up. So technique selection is based on how it's making you feel. If it's really bringing you in that state of your wish fulfilled, of experiencing your desire, techniques are not chosen based on how it's working for someone else or if it's making my desire come up. So reselect your techniques instead of hopping from one technique to another technique. Stick to those 1, 2, 3 techniques that work for you. Personally, for me, there are top 2 techniques that I use, and I have been using these techniques since I can remember, okay, since my childhood days, before any of this was broken down, put on YouTube, put on, blogs and articles. Imagination, you're imagining things, situations, circumstances since you took birth, okay? You have always known how to imagine. Suddenly, because all of these things have been put under the label of techniques, people get really confused with it and they get stuck with it. Why? Because it's something we have been doing since we took birth, as I mentioned. Okay, we are always, through our beliefs and emotions, what we dwell on, what our conditioning is, what our mindset is, we are always choosing our experiences. For me, inner conversations and visualization are super strong, very strong. Whenever people are trying to explain visualization, I see them explaining that close your eyes, sit in a quiet space, and slowly start thinking about your desire, and it will bring you into that end state. People who actually love visualization, who have been doing it since a long time, since their childhood days, they know that you don't need to close your eyes for visualization. I visualize randomly throughout the day. During my evening walks, during my commute, randomly while watching TV, I'll zone out. I visualize with my eyes open. My visualization is really strong. My inner conversations are really strong. And for me, I just knew that I have a really good imaginal power. I did not even used to differentiate between inner conversations and visualization because for me it was just imagining. In my imagination, there are voices and there are pictures. So, inner conversation for me is split out from my visualization. I'm just calling them out separately so you can understand. But for me personally, visualization, inner conversation is one thing. That's something I'm strong in. My visualizations always involve pictures, faces, and dialogues. And that's the same visualization I have been doing all my life since my childhood days, college days, until now while going to sleep. So, when I started learning manifestation in theory, I came across the SATS theory. Again, SATS for me is split out of visualization. It's the same thing you're doing when you're awake, and when you're doing in a sleepy state, it's being called as SATS. Whenever I have been interested in something, anything, not just areas of my love life, whether it's excited to start college admissions, excited to give interviews, I always go to sleep imagining things and then I fall asleep. So for me, if you ask, I will tell you that for me, the strongest technique that I can feel in my core, like deep down in my core when I'm visualizing, I'm in a different world altogether. It makes me feel so good. And from a manifestation perspective, if you want me to split it and let you know what techniques I use exactly, then visualization, you can split inner conversations from that and you can split SATs from that. These are my 3 top techniques, but for me, it's always going to be visualization. So, this is how you should be selecting your techniques. Now, the next thing is the frequency of techniques, which means the number of times you're doing it. You need to keep the frequency of the techniques under control to ensure you're not obsessing with the techniques. The moment you start obsessing with the techniques, they will start exhausting you after a few days. Now, for the people who are doing techniques out of pure joy, entertainment, and they're not forcing themselves into it, they're not torturing their way into it, and they're doing it because they're feeling good. If I'm feeling good, I can randomly do a technique 5 times a day and it will not exhaust me because it's making me feel good. So for those people, you don't really have to keep your frequency under control. I'm talking about the people who are getting exhausted by it, who are getting obsessed with it. You need to ensure that you are keeping the frequency under control. So I'll give you a little plan. Try starting over there, try following that. So start it with 3 times a day. Okay, that's not a lot and it's a good repetition. In the morning, you can do a technique that makes you feel good. Maybe you like affirmations and visualization, but when you wake up in the morning, you're not really in that energy or in that state where you want to do any affirmations, okay? And maybe you are not in the energy to do anything. Like me, I'm not a morning person. So I cannot get up in the morning and, say affirmations. I see this in a lot of places where, start your day with gratitude, start your day with a few affirmations, the first 20 to 30 seconds when you wake up, but I just cannot do that. So just because it's working for some people, I will not replicate that and force myself to do it. So that's one thing, as I said, do the techniques in a way that make you feel good. Don't force yourself into it by comparing yourself to someone else that it's working for them. So if I force myself to do it, it will work for me. What makes you feel good in the morning? Do that. Is it a short meditation? Is it some kind of inner dialogue, inner affirmations? Do you like visualizing a scene when you're just waking up and sitting for about a minute or two? Do you like imagining any scenes? Do that. And if doing nothing in the morning makes you feel good, don't do anything in the morning. Take a break in the afternoon, and for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, whatever is comfortable to you, do a technique that makes you feel good, okay? If physically doing a technique where you're putting in your own effort feels too much, like scripting, you have to write. In affirmations, you're speaking, okay, or you're saying it internally. If those things feel exhausting, if those things feel like you can't do it, you don't feel like doing it in the moment, try short guided meditations where you're just sitting and relaxing and someone else is talking, okay? Someone else is narrating a story, then someone else is saying certain affirmations, and you are just absorbing it. You're relaxing, your eyes are closed, and then before sleeping, do some technique that makes you feel good. A lot of people like writing before they go to bed, okay? I journal, but it's always seasonal. Scripting is more of a manifestation term. So I'm always in these phases of my life where for 2 or 3 months I'll script a lot, okay? Whatever I'm trying to manifest in the next 6 months, I'll script it. And then it slowly fades away. It's not that I stop it. All of a sudden, I experience breaks in my scripting. So I'll do it for 2 days, then I forget for 3 more days. And that's how it just fades off. And then there are 6 months or 7 months where I don't touch my diary. I don't do any scripting. I don't feel like doing it, neither do I force myself to do it. And then after 7, 8 months, sometimes it's been a year, I go back to my journal and I do it because I feel like it. I do it continuously every night for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and sometimes it's also 6 months and 7 months. This is what I'm talking about. I do not force myself into it. When scripting feels good to me, I pick up my diary. Otherwise, it's kept away for months and months. For me, the only constant remains visualization. So, what makes you feel good before going to bed? Is it saying affirmations? Is it SATs, visualization, scripting? Do that for 10 minutes. I would definitely suggest these techniques, visualization, inner conversation, SATs. But if it resonates with you or not, that's for you to decide. Why people keep saying that SATs is so strong is because while you're visualizing, and you're falling into the state where you're half asleep and half awake, your subconscious mind is wide open, okay? And subconscious mind, reaching the subconscious mind is the fastest way to change your beliefs. And your sleep cycle is the best time for that. So that's why people suggest SATs a lot, and I would suggest it too. So you can try SATs out. It has always worked for me. I really feel it's one of the strongest techniques, but try it out and stick to it if it makes you feel good, not because I'm suggesting it and not because it resonates with me, but for the simple reason that it resonates with you, it makes you feel good, and it brings you to that end state. Now, the last point is being patient with yourself. I cannot repeat this enough. You need to be kind towards yourself. You need to be compassionate towards yourself. You are on a journey of transforming some really either small or really big limiting beliefs. Manifestation is all about choosing your experiences consciously. You are creating your reality, everything that is around you, kind of people that show up in your life, kind of situations that show up in your life. You're doing it regardless, consciously or subconsciously, due to all the beliefs, all the notions, all the conditioning that you have gone through since your childhood days. Your family environment, your work environment, your social circle, everything. When you consciously choose to transform your internal beliefs, the way your body is used to functioning, the way your mind is used to thinking, you are rewiring your entire mind. It's not a small thing. It's not an easy thing, but it's a doable thing. Through this, don't torture yourself, okay? Stop exhausting yourself and then blaming things that have nothing to do with your exhaustion. Stop blaming the circumstances and the techniques, and everyone is lying, and this does not work. Practice shifting your mindset around small things. Practice gaining perspective. Practice patience, being patient, okay? All these beliefs that you hold in your mind did not happen overnight. All the limiting beliefs you have around money, around love and relationships, around how women are, around how men are, did not happen overnight. So many things happened, you heard so many things, you saw so many things, you experienced a few things. You read about things, you read about other people's life experiences, their journey, their bad experiences, you see things on television. All this accumulates over weeks and months and years through your childhood, through your adulthood. You go through bad experiences, you're not able to get over those experiences for years and years. You dwell on things, you dwell on arguments and grudges and resentments. These things have taken so many months and years, but you cannot give yourself that much grace, that much patience, that much kindness while you're transforming yourself. And that is only for the sole reason that you see manifestation as a shortcut. You see manifestation as magic, and all those reasons are the wrong reasons to start practicing this. I'm going to be really blunt with you, really honest with you over here. If you are practicing manifestation as a shortcut, for a simple reason that your focus is still on the 3D, and by that I mean you are wanting to grab something from the 3D. I want this from this outside world. I want this person. I want them within 1 week, and that's why let me try manifestation. That's not how it works. Even if you don't try manifestation, all this will keep happening because of how your beliefs are, because of how your mindset is around this. And the only way you can get rid of this situation and have this reality transformed is by changing that mindset and beliefs. You're transforming yourself in this journey. You're not trying to grab something from outside. That will show up by default when this changes. And unless you understand this, conscious creation manifestation is not for you. And I'm not even saying that you cannot manifest things or people when your focus is outside. That, I want this person, and yes, they showed up. So what you're saying is not right. I don't have to transform myself to have people and favorable circumstances show up in my reality. And that is true. They might show up, but guess what? That is not going to be a sustainable change in your reality. That's not going to be a sustainable change in your behavior and mindset. And for all the reasons that that person or that thing disappeared in your life in the first place will repeat itself, because your mind is used to thinking a certain way, and it will again create that situation for you where you find yourself in that position again to repeat it. By repeat, I mean you're calling them in. Again, your limiting beliefs play out, okay? Again, you're losing something. Again, you're trying to put in all your energy and effort to manifest it back. You'll stay stuck in this cycle, and you can test this out for yourself. Because what you're doing is you're too focused on covering the wound, okay? You're just putting band aid after band aid after band aid. You're not interested in healing the wound, okay? You're not interested in applying medicine. That's not going to work in your favor. So if you really want to understand and learn conscious creation, it needs to be with the approach of knowing that I'm transforming myself. And when I transform myself, my beliefs, the way I am, my self concept, I know everything else is going to by default show up as I want it to show up. Okay, that's all I wanted to discuss in that video. I really hope I was able to add some value to your manifestation process. You're welcome to subscribe to my second YouTube channel that is around self-development and mindset, not really from a manifestation perspective, but in general. My Instagram is also linked below for a regular dose of motivation. And the weekly live group coaching sessions will start on 8th of September. The group is launching officially on 1st of September. So if you're interested, do join that. The link is in the video description. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a great week.